See, also, guys, if a woman or a man never wants to be around you, then stop whining and complaining that they are never in your life. I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, they never want you in the first place. I mean, why are you complaining about them? I mean, why are you trying to have them for? I mean, why do you even want somebody who never wants you? I mean, what for? I mean, go your own way. Go somewhere else and be more successful than them, at least. I mean, if she never wants you, or if he or she never wants you, then be more successful than them in life. I mean, be more successful than them individually. I understand? I mean, who gives a fuck about them? I mean, I have many fucking women who never want me. I fucking never care about them. I'm fucking way better than a drug addict. Or should fucking most of them are drug addicts anyway. I mean, most of them fucking go for guys that want to do beer and drugs. I mean, I never fucking need a woman like that. I understand? I never need a woman like that because I understand how she grew up. I mean, she grew up around drug addicts. You understand? I grew up around drug addicts too. But I never fucking go for a drug addict in life. I never fucking marry a drug addict, I promise you. I promise you, if you want to be my wife or husband, then guess what? I promise you, never fucking smoke cigarettes around me and never fucking do drugs around me in life. I mean, you understand? I mean, that's the fucking way. I never fucking want you to be doing drugs around me. I never want you to be doing drugs around me. I mean, why? I mean, fuck, if you want to drink alcohol, then understand that if you never give it to a baby, then why the fuck are you drinking it? I mean, let's say your fucking baby is just born now. I mean, do you give your little baby that's just born a fucking alcohol drink? I mean, get the fuck out of here, mate. I mean, understand? I mean, stop fucking acting like you're fucking smart or something about a fucking beer and a Barbie. And fucking wake up to yourself. I mean, understand? I mean, does Jesus Christ fucking drink alcohol? I mean, that's why there's fucking many idiots around here. I understand? But be nice and be able to understand that either way. I'm teaching you guys very quickly about what I'm doing. And I understand that no matter what, that you guys have to understand all the time how to deliver content. And now if you want to deliver content, then be able to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. So what I want to do now is understand that I'm just really delivering content here. I'm just doing my best to understand something about life, that it's getting windy around here. I understand I have some time, I can be here for 1 hour, just outdoors. And I want to actually just grow and really quickly, I want to make sure I can go and place all these nice and beautiful sound effects. So I have sound effects over here that I want to actually place into my nice and beautiful audio program here. And what I want to do is I'm holding my nice and beautiful camera here, and I'm making sure that no matter what, you guys understand something. I'm making sure that you understand that I'm just growing myself all the time. I'm making sure that I can go and place all my instruments into the category of one nice and beautiful channel. So I have a channel here. I want to place everything into the channel 32. And that's the channel mixer of where my content goes. And why is that? I mean, why is it 32? I mean, 32 for some reason is sparkling for me. And now I have to check what program it is. I realize I have to check what kind of mixer it is. I realize everything is in 32 over here. Alright, now anyway, I'm in the word I anyway. Alright, what I want to do is I want to make sure that you guys have success you deserve all the time, to make sure that you understand that if you're trying to make a sound design, then place all the fucking instruments that you have in terms of live instruments. I mean, place it all into one mixer channel and just raise the volume on that, and that's it. Everything is in one fucking volume. I mean, understand? And that's how you make a sound design. I mean, I was recently fucking placing trumpets in fucking 47 and guitar in 32 and fucking saxophone in 1 in terms of mixer 1. I mean, throw all the fucking actual sound designs in terms of your live instruments into one fucking category, and just understand it's much more likely that you have a better sound this way than having to go about it any other way. Whereas now I'm just going around in my nice and beautiful program here, and what I want to be doing is I want to be talking to you much more than having to listen back to the music. And now why is that? Because I want to give you the words. I understand, I want to give you the words. And now I understand something, that it's much more important to do so. But what I want to do is congratulate myself, because I understand it's much more about teaching you than it is playing back the audio over and over again. I mean, understand? So I want to go and do as much as I can without playing the audio with my nice and beautiful program here, while I talk about life and talk about everything. because I have no time to make anything other than just this life coaching program, and I'll just throw everything into one. Because if you want fucking the best of Danny Milivojevic, then fucking read everything I have to give you, and that's it. But if I give you fucking music production and also everything, I mean fucking read everything. I mean never just fucking read my music production material. I mean fucking read also my life coaching material, and also my singing material, and also everything. I understand? But there's a time and place for understanding that no matter what, I'm teaching you guys anyway in my fucking FL studio over here. I'm teaching you guys in my FL studio over here how I'm making content and how I make it work, and how I make my tracks also. I mean, it's very plain, it's very plain and simple upon life and how I really do everything. I'm just making sure I'm going into every single sound over here to make sure that it's all vibing over here, and that it's all in my 32 mixer. So I have over, let's say, 10 sounds, and I'm clicking on all the stem files over here because some of them are cut up and everything, and I just want to make sure that everything is inside of my nice and beautiful mixer channel in terms of my mixer 2, in terms of my mixer 32, and make sure that you guys have that, because that way I'm successful and you're successful and everybody's successful, and then we're going and moving forward. Or else we're going and moving forward in a way that we're learning how to speak better, or else we're learning that no matter what we do today, that we must be helping people to succeed, because that's the whole point. And now what I want to do also is I want to listen back to the actual content here, and I want to be giving you audio programs all day long, because that way I understand I'm successful like this and I'm moving forward very quickly. And that's the whole point, isn't it? And the whole point is move quickly in life. And now I understand that is something different, but that's something I have to go and recognize. Now, I have a different setting of volume reduction over here, and I understand that if you want to go and make any kind of volume work, then make sure you can go and place it somewhere different, and make sure that you have that automation going in that nice and beautiful theory, and make sure that you also understand that you want to deliver content in a way that's working for you. So make sure you understand that if you're using a volume automation on a audio stem file, which is a track file or any kind of sound, then make sure that it's in that instrumental rack, because I never want to go and place my continuous guitars in 32, because in 48 I have an automation clip with volume reduction and volume automations going, and I never want to make that part of 32. I want to make it part of 48, because that way I can teach you in numbers what I mean. And if you're teaching people in numbers, you're making sure that no matter what, that you're learning very quickly upon what to do. But make sure you understand that no matter what, my heart over here says something that I have to lift forward. I have to lift forward. I have to drink some water. I have to understand something about life. I can breathe much better. But I'm a non-smoker now for over 3 years. I'm making sure that no matter what I'm sitting over here outside, I'm just relaxing. But I want to be pumping this music very soon. I want to understand this sound at least. And I want to go and do my vocals as well. I want to just jump into the vocal range over here, because just go and do the main programs. I mean, go and do the main arts of what you need to do, and then focus upon doing the nice and beautiful automation clips anyway, and understand that you can use your indoors as your suspect in life, because guess what, I promise you, you have to suspect in life everything, and you must understand that no matter what. And now, since I understand all the time how to teach you much better, I just want to listen over this program to see how it actually sounds. I just want to say, guys, very quickly, that it's very important for you guys to be able to go and really create your content in a way that it's working for you, but make sure that you're prospering in a way that you're recording your nice beautiful session while also making sure that you're working on your FL Studio or your soundtrack. But make sure you're giving the ideas very quickly, because otherwise you forget. I mean, in a sense, to make sure you understand that if you give ideas very quickly upon what you're doing, then you're always much more likely to prosper than to go and do anything else. So make sure you're using the magnifying glass as you go into the FL Studio to go and maneuver your way around to make sure that you're more successful in what you want to do. So make sure you understand always to use the pencil remark or the paintbrush to go and just draw up anywhere in terms of whatever frequency you want in terms of your calendar. And just make sure that you're understanding to always deliver content in a way that's helping you grow. And that's the whole point, guys. I mean, the whole point is making sure that you're that you're successful. So focus upon understanding that you need to treasure yourself in a way that you're learning very quickly upon all that, and that you're making sure that no matter what, that you're learning very quickly to give ideas very quickly, and to never ever skip a beat upon giving ideas so that you can actually understand what you need to do. But if you're scratching yourself, then make sure that you're going to the shower very quickly, and then also be able to talk more than anything else and be able to give more content. Also guys, it's just very important to understand also guys in terms of life. Just make sure that you guys lock your phone when you pause your voice memo, or when you pause your video, or when you pause your audio programs, because that way you never cancel the video or you never cancel the audio. So if you lock it, and if you lock your phones and technology, then your video and audio programs are always going to remain still in that program. And then you can just open up your program, or open up your laptop, or open up your phone, and the voice memo or the nice and beautiful program that you're using is right where you left it. And then you can just press unpause right away. But if I have my nice and beautiful voice memo, let's say without a lock screen on it, then accidentally I may tap stop and cancel the whole program. But if I lock my phone altogether, then there's no chance that I can press that stop button on my voice memo, or even cancel my program, because I never want to cancel this program because it's already recording for 11 minutes. So that's why I lock my phones and technology, so that I can always continue my programs like this. And then what I do is I lock my phones, and then I open my phone and I just press unpause. I unpause it and I continue to talk, and then I lock my phone again once I do pause it, for example, and then I just continue to do what I'm doing, and then I unpause it when I need to talk to you. But I have to unlock my phone screen to do so. Or then I just make sure to lock my phone screen when I need to, by making sure that you understand that when you lock your phones, that you prevent yourself to, let's say, eliminate your program like this. And that way you understand what I mean. I'm also, guys, just cleaning up my nice and beautiful software over here, which is my FL Studio soundtrack over here. And why am I cleaning my software? I mean, why? I mean, because if I clean my software and I clean all the nice and beautiful track, and I add what I need to inside of the track, I make sure that way that you hear a better sound. I make sure that you guys have a better sound altogether, and I make sure that this way I'm understanding it's getting colder around here. So what I want to do is I want to focus upon understanding to just go and create something else over here in terms of life, where I can go and really focus upon something else. And I just want to be able to go and really study upon what I've done over here. And then I want to make sure that either way I open up my other program over here quickly and just do my dinosaurs, and I just do my dinosaur program over here, and then making sure anyway that when I clean my systems and when I clean my nice and beautiful throat and everything I have, then I'm also trying to add more value for you to have in all aspects of life. And then that's what I mean. Alright, it's very important when you're speaking to people that you speak very broadly, as Tony Robbins says, because guess what, I promise you, when I experience something where I speak so broadly to you, I always get my message across. I always get my message across when I'm speaking broadly to you. And how is that possible? Because I have many aspects of life to give you in different areas of life, and I make sure that either way that you guys have so much more content to deliver every single day. Because when you're speaking broadly, then make sure you understand that if you're mentioning other people and what they said, or else then make sure you understand that you are somebody in that field also. But make sure you understand that you just go and really talk it out much more than anything else. And then make sure every single day that you're always promoting other people, but make sure you're speaking so broadly that you can get your message across, is what I'm saying. And that's how you do it. I'll say also, guys, what's important in terms of your music production is always making time markers where you finish your programs in terms of your soundtrack. I mean, make a time marker there to say finish in that section, and also make sure you leave some gaps. I mean, leave at least 10-second space in your, or just make sure you understand, do you leave 10 seconds of space, or any kind of space, or just leave 1 second of space at least. Just understand that. I promise you, if you make 1 second of space in your music track, then guess what happens? You can make 10 seconds of space in your music track, so you can add something in that realm right there. Because understand that no matter what you're doing, or else no matter what you're doing throughout life, you're just wanting to understand that if your nice and beautiful track goes into silence, then something can come in. But if it never comes into silence, then there is no sound at all. Or else without silence, I can then never speak to you. But I can speak to you because I have silence with me. I can do anything all day. But just make sure you understand that you must have silence in your music production, so you can go and really focus upon understanding to go and really deliver content for yourself, and then export your nice and beautiful content from the finish line. Alright, now where is the actual finish line of your music track? So that's where you actually understand with a time marker to place a time marker there, and then go and highlight the whole track from that point, and then understand either way that you highlight your tracks from the finish point of your track. So have a time marker that says this is the finish point, and then just highlight the whole section and highlight from the time marker all the way through, and then export your track into whatever file you need. But understand that if you want to do something else, and save your files quickly. I mean, just save the file and just go and do something quickly for yourself, and then understand either way that it's a much faster way to do your life. Then understand that no matter what, that you go and do some go and do some sound designs, and then make sure you understand to listen to the whole track again and again and again, and make sure you understand I have the first hour in terms of the first 100 minutes over here of my music track over here at Idonatopia, and it's the part where there's the guitars and trumpets, and it's the intro of the music. And now either way, I promise you that from that point, I promise you what I can do is I can go and create all these WAV files. So I have all these WAV files and stem files. I can go and introduce them into my next half of my track, and then I understand either way that it's a sound, and I can create something from that. And then I understand that with my third part here is I'm focusing on making sure that you guys understand that I'm looking to deliver content in ways that I'm making sure that you guys grow, and I'm making sure anyway that I have to go and focus upon a greater life for myself so I can grow all areas of my life. So what I do is I'm always looking to see whatever is happening in my life to focus on something greater. So understanding when my dog goes around bushwalking somewhere, I promise you it's because they're looking to shit somewhere. I promise you my dog over here may be running somewhere in terms of the gardening over there, or she may be scratching itself around the garden, but it's actually looking for somewhere to shit and piss right now, I promise you. I mean, I love it. I've seen my fucking dog before, and it was fucking so much in terms of life, in terms of so in a terrorizing kind of manner, and it was so, let's say, spooky. I mean, it was so spooky, like something is going to happen, and then fucking it starts shitting out of nowhere. I mean, so that's the thing, yeah. I promise you, dogs are funny and beautiful. But guess what? I promise you, if you understand how to talk, I promise you, that's the most beautiful. I mean, and why is that? I mean, why is your voice and everything so beautiful when you're speaking more? I promise you it's because you're creating your life. I promise you it's because Jesus Christ came here to show you how to talk and how to do life. And if you understand that is the most beautiful aspect of life, where you can go and teach people everything, and then guess what? I promise you, when you teach people everything, you just teach yourself like that. And then guess what? I promise you, you are something that's much more done for, in a way that you're better than that, but you're making sure that no matter what, that you're learning very quickly upon what you need to do to succeed, and then just lift yourself and talk better and better and better, and then you have everything. I realize now with my track, I understand that my nice and beautiful track over here is done. I understand that either way I have to listen back to it and listen back to it and listen back to it, so that I can understand that much greater. And I want to just hear my drop over here in terms of the ending of my music track over here, to just see what the difference is in between the sounds, because my sound, in terms of my bass line in the intro of my Idonatopia, was so loud that my live instrumental music, such as my guitars and saxophone and bass guitar and all that, was unable to be heard. So what I want to do also is I want to go into my nice and beautiful screen over here, and I want to place this nice and beautiful Claudio bass line in my nice and beautiful category over here to have the same sound. I realize I want to have the same sound design as my nice and beautiful track over here, in ways that it's different from other instruments, but it's actually in the same category as my other instruments, such as my saxophone and bass guitar and all the guitars and all the drums and all that. Has a nice and beautiful category here, where it's in the channel 32 mixer. And I want to place all the live instrumental sounds in the same mixer channel and raise the volume there. And that's what I've done. But I have to understand anyway. I have to go because I feel it's very cold. So anyway, guys, just make sure that you understand that you just go and listen back to what you need to do, and just plan your track out and just go and do your best. So also what you can do, guys, is, for example, my beautiful bass line is a certain volume in one half of the track, but in the ending of the track it's a bit louder. And why is that? Because I want it to sound a bit louder, and specifically in a way that it's growing myself, in a way that I'm learning very quickly that what you can do is use volume automation to make your sounds in certain tracks louder than other parts of the tracks, because it brings a certain effect chain that you want in your track and mix, and you want to hear it much more, don't you? And what you want to understand every single day is understanding that if you realize now that since I play some volume automation, that I play some Maximus pre-gain or post-gain automation somewhere on my sound that makes it boost in sound one way or another, I promise you either way that since I'm telling you this, it's because I'm teaching myself also that I can now go and grab one sound and make it a certain level in one half of the track, but make it larger in another part of the track. But people never even recognize the difference. I mean, do you understand? Because in one half of the track, I have live instrumentals playing, and I have a lot of sounds playing. And if my bass line is playing too loud, then it drowns all the other sounds. So what I have to do is I have to lower that volume on the bass line there, in terms of that half, in terms of just that part, where there's so much going in terms of live instrumentals, that I never want my bass line to be over the top too much, over that. I want to have a little volume reduction right there on my actual bass line to say, yes, you can still hear it, but look at the other sounds. I mean, look at the saxophone. I mean, look at the guitar and drum solos over here. I mean, look at that more as well. But then in my other techno track or my other parts of my music, I fucking raise the volume on that bass line because that's what I fucking want people to hear. Because everything else is fucking loud as well. And it fucking makes sense. Because there's never as much happening in those parts of the track. So I want to raise the volume with my bass line in that aspect to make it sound larger. I mean, so that's the whole point, yeah? So what I'm doing is I'm using a volume automation with Maximus, which is a plugin or compressor in FL Studio, and it's a post-gain and pre-gain automation. And all I'm using for now is just a pre-gain automation to just boost it a bit of volume, to make it a bit larger. And that's it. All I do is I make a little tiny automation clip that's only 1 second, and I place it at a certain level. I place it 100% in that level, and for the whole rest of the track, and for the next 100 minutes of the track, I'm probably my volume of my bass line is fucking all the way up. But I just place a little 1 second automation from that point. So anything that's happening, or anything that's happening prior to that automation clip is the original sound of that bass line with the volume reduction. I mean, you understand? But then what happens once the actual track moves past that automation clip, then the volume actual becomes 100% right away. But prior to that automation, it becomes maybe 70%. I mean, understand? So when you're playing a track, in terms of my track over here, my bass line starts at 70%, but once it goes over that little 1 second automation clip, then it turns into 100%, or it turns into 100% sound, because it has that little automation clip that's 1 second that pronounces it so. And it pronounces it in a way that it says, hey, from this point, I want my nice and beautiful sound to sound 100% all the way through the next tracks. I mean, in a sense, so just place a nice and beautiful 1 second automation clip that is on 100%, and then for the next for the next 60 minutes or more of your track, that sound that you raise 100% on is all the way. I mean, it's going all the way 100%, unless you use that one automation clip and place it somewhere else and make it a unique automation clip, and then place it again on 70%. But you have to place your automation clips and patterns and sounds in a unique format to be able to reduce the volume or to automate it differently. Because when it's a unique type of file, then it's a new file, isn't it? But if you're using the same old file, then if you make an automation with that, then you use another automation with that, then what happens is that the one automation you didn't make even prior to that is still the case in the new fashion that you did make it in. So what I'm saying is that if you make one file and you want to place automation on it, I mean, go ahead. But if you want to place another unique kind of automation on it, then you have to make a unique file. I mean, in a sense, so what you need to do with all your stem files and everything in terms of music production is create unique patterns and modes and unique automation clips and unique everything. If you want to have a new automational go, or if you want to have a new volume, or if you want to have new automation or new sound effects or new something, I mean, anything that you want to make new with that sound has to be a unique file. So then what you do in the actual digital audio workstation is you go in there and you click the little scroll bar and you say make unique, and then from that point you can make a new automation clip now, is what I'm saying. So what I'm doing is, if you want to make a new volume automation, then go and slice that nice and beautiful automation clip, and then go and click on the other one where you made that slice, and make that one a unique file, and just say make unique, and then create your own automation clip from that point and make a new one. And then if you want to make another automation clip, then just go through that procedure and then make another slice and say this is my unique file, and say make unique again, and then just keep creating new sounds. I mean, and that's the whole point. I see also, guys, what's important is understanding that, for example, I just made an automation clip, but I have to place the pre-gain of the actual Maximus to 100%, and then just create automation clip. And now my nice and beautiful automation clip is just 4 kicks long, and then either way it's 100%. But then guess what I have to do now? I have to go back into my Maximus. I have to go and paste the value. So what I do first is copy the value first, and then I make it 100% and make the automation clip. And then I have to go and paste the value of my prior nice and beautiful volume into it to make it 81% again. So first it's on 81% in terms of the nice and beautiful way of life over there. And I'm better than that, but let's say your nice and beautiful sound is on 81%. Then guess what you do? I mean, then create automation clip on the 100% and then also return it back to 81%, is what I'm saying. Or copy the value of 81% first and then place it into 100% and create automation clip on 100% and then paste the value and then it becomes 81% again. I mean, that's all I'm doing. I mean, in a sense, so teach people numbers with music production is very important if you want to become something more, because that way you understand straight away that I'm much better than what I said by making sure I'm teaching you everything. I say also, guys, what you need to do is go back into Maximus and go back into your sounds and make 2 automation clips with 1 automation clip saying, hey, I want my sound to be from this point 71% or 81% or whatever number that is. And then guess what? Probably then from the next minutes of your life in terms of that music section or whatever you're doing in terms of that music, or after 20 minutes, then you want your nice and beautiful sound to sound 100%. So make another automation clip and say 100% from that point on is going to be that sound. I realize now what I've realized is because I'm understanding now that I want my nice and beautiful sound over here to start at 81%. So what I do is I return it back on 81% over here. So I actually have to go and actually paste the value of 81% over here. And then I make a little red kind of, let's say, I make a little red notion over here, which is a red highlight. And I highlight one section of the track over here. And I just highlight with the cursor. And I just go and create automation clip. Whereas now that clip is right there. And it's right here, for example. So what I'm understanding, I press Control Pad to unselect the nice and beautiful layouts of my FL Studio. And now guess what? Now my sound is always going to be at 100%. I mean, in a sense, so it's also going to be at 81% at first. So my sound over here as I play it. So what I've done is I do mute my actual laptop while my sound is playing, so that I can go and see my nice and beautiful arrangement and what's going on. So yes, I can see my actual sound is on 81% now because it has an automation clip. But then guess what? Probably now I did make another automation clip after a certain point in my music track. So then I want that music track or that notion to boost to 100%. So you have to, I realize you have to make 2 automation clips if you want your sound to sound in a way of 2 sounds in a volume of 81% and 100%. Then you have to create 2 automation clips. I mean, if you want your sound to just sound 100%, then you create 1 automation clip with 100%. I mean, in a sense, so what you do is realize now that since I'm doing that, I'm focusing on making sure that you guys understand that no matter what, you must have always to check your nice and beautiful structure of volume to see, is your track on that volume and is your sound on that volume? And if it's not on that volume, I promise you, then you have to create an automation clip to say so. Promise you, that's what I'm saying. And then if you want another automation clip somewhere or another sound to sound even higher in volume, then you have to create another automation clip. And you have to have 2 automation clips to have 2 kinds of values. I mean, they're saying, what kind of values? I mean, values in volume or effect or any type of sound or delay or whatever it is. I mean, the more effects you want, the more automation clips you need. I mean, if you want 100 effects in your sounds, then you need 100. I mean, then you need 100 automation clips. I mean, in a sense, so the more automation clips you have, and the more sound design you have, and the more sounds and the more instruments you have in your mix and in your music, the better quality of sound you have. I mean, you understand? I mean, the more value you add, the better. I mean, why is that? Because you have to understand that every single time you go and really practice yourself to have more sound in life, then of course you're going to have better value, aren't you? I mean, do you go for less sound or more sound? I mean, of course you go more sound. I mean, you go for more life or less life. I mean, of course you go for more life. Because why? I realize because we have greater quality of life, don't we? I mean, we have greater quality of life when we live more life. I mean, so that's why we have to have more sound. We have to have so much going for us all the time. So we have to have all the time more and more and more. And that's the whole point, guys. See, also what you can do, guys, is just go and quickly be able to go and recognize that you can go and pause in terms of unmute or mute your laptop while it's playing the audio, so that you can go and see something in terms of values and automation and pasting in terms of value in percentage of different automation clips, and you can work on your actual sound design and your arrangement and whatever you're doing with a selfie stick and whatever you're doing in terms of life, but also making sure they understand that your sound never has to be playing in your music production while you're actually talking to people. I mean, I understand I can play it right now. I can play my nice and beautiful audio program right here, and I can mute my laptop sound, and it's still playing on the screen, but there's no sound because I didn't mute the laptop sound. And I'm still talking to you like that. And that's a skill that I use to talk to you while my actual laptop is playing my audio, while there's no sound coming out of the portable speaker because I did mute the laptop sound. And that's why, because I need to give you some ideas, and that's why. And now either way, because I'm always explaining why, I'm making sure that you understand that as I speak to you here, I can be working on my music production track without actually hearing the audio right now. And I can add a nice and beautiful layer over here or whatever. But make sure you understand that what's important is make sure you guys always deliver content and quality for yourself to actually recognize what you're doing. So be able to go and really pronounce yourself much better in whatever you're doing, so you can focus on your life. I mean, be able to love your life so completely to understand that no matter what, that you enjoy your life, and go and save the project. I have to save this project now, and then I realize all I do now is I go and export it and I make it an MP3 file, and that's done. I realize that track is done for me. But then what I do is I have to re-listen to it. I have to re-listen to it again and again and again until I'm completely in satisfaction about it. And now, yes, it's done. I promise you, this track over here is done. I promise you, it's 100 minutes. I mean, the first 100 minutes of my Idonotopia track is done. I mean, how nice and beautiful. But what else you can do is you can grab all of your nice and beautiful sound effects that you made in your soundtrack and place it in one segment of the track. And just fuck around, because if you understand, after the 60 minutes point in my first Idonotopia track that I've ever made, I mean, guess what? I'm only making one Idonotopia track. But make sure you understand that after 60 minutes, there is this fucking play of sounds that's fucking random sounds is playing. I mean, it's like a fucking game. And you must understand that I'm just fucking playing around with all these sounds, and I made up something. I made up something from those sounds. And it sounds amazing. And there's some trance sounds in the extra that I did place value into my track. And I did extend the track like that exactly for over 15 minutes. I mean, in a sense, so if I just go and highlight this nice and beautiful track over here, and I see how long is this track over here. I mean, I just want to export to see what I do is I highlight that part. I just highlight that part on my actual FL Studio. I press enter over here. Actually, that is 12 minutes. I'm better than 12 minutes, but it's extra. I mean, I extend my nice and beautiful track by 12 minutes or more, just by adding these new sound effects that I was making before in my track. I was making random sounds, and I was never even using them before. I was never even using them. I was saying, hey, I have to make these sound effects happen. I have to make these sound effects happen in my music track. So what do? I place fucking over 12 stem files or audio files playing at different intervals. I'm like, fuck yes, because it has all these fucking different sounds that I was fucking making prior, and I was making all these sound effects. But I have to use it eventually, so what I do is always fucking, in one part of my track, I fucking place all that together in a breakdown. And there's no kick on it. I mean, there's no kick, but then sometimes I add like a random kick, just to make it sound like it's a trance vibe or something like that. And either way, it's an effect. But I just place all these fucking sound effects in one part of my track, and it's like the biggest flaw you've ever seen. I mean, it's the biggest muck-up of sound you've ever seen in your life. And it's a complete fuck-up. I promise you, it's a complete fuck-up. I promise you, it sounds like a fuck-up too. I promise you, when you hear music and it sounds like fucking shit, I promise you it's like that, but this fucking sounds good. I mean, you understand? Because anyway, I love it. I mean, it makes your sound good. I love it. I promise you, although that's what I'm saying. I mean, always go and in one part of your track, make your sound really sound like fucking shit. I mean, do you understand? I mean, make it sound fucking so shit. I mean, why is that? I mean, make it sound so fucking shit in one part of your music sound, because we need that in life. For sure, everything is good. Or else, everything is good. I mean, understand? But if you just use one fucking part of your track to just go and fucking amplify something to sound fucking horrible in your track, then it's still a fucking sound and it's still fucking good. But you're fucking implying, hey, this is part of my track and this is one part of my track that's the fucking most horrible fucking sound you've ever heard in my track. Because that's the fucking unique aspect of life. I promise you. I promise you, if you have 100 good people and there's fucking one of them that's fucking horrible, I mean, guess what? I mean, there's 100 good people, but there's one horrible one. I mean, the fucking one horrible one, at least, is fucking more unique than all the fucking good ones out there. I mean, you understand? I mean, if you have 100 people in a room and one's fucking horrible, I mean, guess what? I mean, everybody understands who that individual is. Because that's the most popular one. First, the most popular one is the fucking most horrible one in the room. I mean, do you understand that? I mean, why is that? Because everybody's fucking good and that one's fucking horrible. I mean, do you understand? And that's the whole point, yeah? So, in my fucking whole track of Idonotopia, there's fucking one horrible part in it. I mean, there's one fucking horrible part in it. I mean, understand? And why is that? Because I imply this is a fucking unique section of my fucking music track that I want you to hear that is so fucking horrible. And it's so unique as well, because people need that kind of uniqueness. And people need to tell the difference between good and horrible. That's it. I see also what you can do is understand that if you're playing a music track and you want vocals to come out of your music track, then what you can do is volume automate your nice and beautiful instrumentals and do volume reductions on your actual instrumental tracks. So if you have 10 instrumentals that are playing at the same time and you want your fucking dinosaur vocals to come out, then what you have to do is fucking volume automate all the fucking 10 instrumentals and fucking do a volume reduction where the fucking vocal comes out. And that's it. Because the fucking vocal's coming out, and just fucking do a volume reduction and people listen to the vocal now instead of the music track. I mean, in a sense, so what you do also is never fucking wait to speak on audio or anything like that, and just continue to speak while you are trying to close a program or do anything else in life. So make sure you understand that no matter what I do, I make sure I'm always doing a better job. I'm making sure I'm always locating my files, and I realize I have in Idonotopia track, I have 421 files of FLP files, and it's all saving projects. I did save my project 421 times. I mean, that's it. So what I do is I can have a photo over here. I just show people quickly so they see. I want people to see what I'm doing. So what I do is I go online and I send them really quickly. I can send them my nice and beautiful tracks or whatever it is in terms of whatever I've done. I just say I see how many times I need to save Idonotopia. Or I send that to Sunset Brothers, and now they're people who are, let's say, famous to some regard in Australia. So I just send it to them because I love them, and that's just how it is. But we talk on a regular basis, and we're just understanding to connect together, and that's how I do life. So what I do now is I have an ending master file. So I have 3 files over here that I'm working on inside of FL Studio. But I'm showing people different ideas of what I'm doing. I love it. And because I show people different ideas about everything, I'm making sure that you guys understand it's very quick to the notion, that you understand that you have to be quick and adaptable to understand how to make music. And the fastest way is teaching people how to make music. I mean, the fastest way is talking more, the words of music. I mean, those people who can talk words can do life. I mean, be sure to understand that if you want to go and send people your projects and you want to send somebody extra or something like that, your nice and beautiful content or whatever, then go ahead. I mean, go and send them more what you believe about life, and just be understanding how you need to go and grab life by whatever it is to make sure that you're prospering. And also, if you want to copy any kind of, let's say, nice and beautiful, I mean, if you want to copy your sound design or your actual, let's say, words that you wrote to somebody else, then go and copy and paste it to somebody else as well. So I start with I, and I just sent another guy. I see how many times I need to say my Dinotopia. I send that to him. I send the same word. I send the same words to somebody else because it starts with I. I mean, it's who I am anyway. I mean, that's who I am because I'm talking to you anyway. So you must understand. So it's just much quicker for me to explain everything. And now, anyway, I promise you always have to work a quicker way. And now, if you have anything extra to say or do, then make sure that you're always looking for ways to improve your life, and you're making sure that you're opening up projects while also understanding that the cold temperature over here is much better, and there's no doubt about it. So making sure that no matter what, that you understand that since I have a YouTube account, I show people my different YouTube accounts and what I have in terms of on my YouTube. So I only have one YouTube account, but I show people my different videos I did upload in terms of I did upload recently. And why is that? Because I want people to be in my life. So I want people to see my life in some extent. I want people to enjoy my life and who I am. I want them to see exactly what I'm doing. So every single time that if somebody gives you a thumbs down, it's because they're giving themselves a thumbs down. I mean, understand? So make sure you understand that. I mean, I'm always a thumbs up, but if other people are giving you a thumbs down, then it's because they are just that. I mean, if they call you ugly, then it's because they're ugly. I mean, in a sense, so that's the whole thing. I mean, in a sense, so just focus upon delivering content that you want to give to other people, and be able to send content to other people in regards to what you're doing. And if you want to be opening your FL Studio to send other people your nice and beautiful content very quickly, then send it very quickly, and then just enjoy what you're doing, and just be able to understand that no matter what, that you deserve. I mean, you deserve a better way, and you deserve to just spark up your intent in terms of what you're doing daily. And you focus on your life. I mean, focus on something that helps you grow, and focus on letting your project upload, and just focus on making sure that your content is uploading in a way that you're enjoying your life in different ways. And you're making sure that no matter what, that if you name all your titles in a way that's the word I, then just make sure that you just realize something about life, that you enjoy yourself and enjoy everything that you have in life. And that's the whole point. Yeah, I mean, the whole point is making sure that you have more to give and more to understand, and you're just making sure that you are sending people your content. I mean, send people your content regardless of what's happening out there, because that way you grow really quickly. And because you grow really quickly, then you're understanding either way that you must go and grow yourself in different ways. And then you understand if you're spamming people your content and what you're doing about life, then it's because you love them. I mean, it's never because of anything else. I mean, do you understand? Or else if they hate you because of it, then guess what? Probably it's because they're stupid. I mean, understand? Because every single day that nobody hates life except nobody. I mean, understand? I mean, nobody hates life. Probably that's it. Probably you must understand that no matter what, that you just must never ever hate life. I mean, you must be somebody who loves life completely to the point of recognition to help yourself to succeed in different ways. And my nice and beautiful content is so, let's say, expensive that I realize it's been uploading for 5 minutes now and more. I realize now, whatever I have to do in life, I understand I'm doing better than that. I'm making sure that you guys understand that I'm always delivering much more content. So I'm making sure that you guys understand what I'm doing all the time in different ways. If you want to go and understand something about life right now, then then understand how it feels to go and succeed in different ways, and how to really, really prosper your life and to succeed in the best kind of ways, and just understand everybody's equal. So love everybody equally and send everybody equally content. So who's the first one you send content to? I mean, send it to the homeless man. I mean, send it to a homeless man instead, or homeless woman. I mean, everybody's equal. I mean, that's what I mean. Whereas now it's getting dark over here. I'm making sure my nice and beautiful content is uploading over here, and I'm just sending people content on my Instagram. I'm sending random people content about me. I realize that since I'm doing that, I'm actually talking to you along the way as well. So what I want to do is open up my content over here, but now this is missing. I realize now if your content is missing from its profile. I mean, be sure to add your nice and beautiful mix of what you have in terms of your nice and beautiful, let's say, files. So if you have files that you are working on inside of your mix, then be sure to add that inside the effect chain of your nice and beautiful FL Studio in terms of your laptop, and make sure it's on your desktop somewhere, and then open the file again and again until it works. I mean, so what happens is, since I had my dinosaur sound effects in one file where I did have to, let's say, remove it from my laptop desktop, and then I was trying to open the file, but the file was never completely uploading. I mean, why is that? Because those sound effects were missing, and the vocals were missing from the desktop in my laptop, and that's why I did go and replace the sound in my nice and beautiful way of life in a way that I went and I did go into the file of where that nice and beautiful file is. I understand either way I have to go now. I understand that no matter what, then my file is opening now. But what I want to do is I want to just go from now on. I realize it's just how it is here, because I understand it's getting very cold around here, and I want to make sure I can go eat something as well. So just be careful when you're walking, and just make sure you're looking at something to help your life, and that's it. I love it. Actually, if you understand that if you have dogs, just make sure you never step on the shit because of the dog shit. I mean, in a sense, so my dogs fucking have dog shit everywhere. I understand, because they're dogs. I mean they live with us, but I understand anyway that if you want dogs, I realize that's how it is. I mean, I understand either way that I never own dogs. I just rent them out. But you must understand that, for example, I realize an example of renting dogs out is, for example, when my biological dad has dogs, for example. So what I do with that is I make sure you understand something. That since he owns the dogs, I mean, it's his dogs. I mean, it's his backyard. I mean, I come here and I'm just renting the dogs. I'm renting the dogs because it's his dogs. I mean, it's never my dogs. I mean, he has to feed the dogs. I get myself, I get myself in a position where I never ever have to feed dogs. I mean, I mean, why? Because I understand they're never my dogs. I realize if it's my dog, then I feed the dog. I mean, there's a big difference here. So what I do is I went to my nice and beautiful backyard over there. It's my studio. I mean, it's my studio. So it's 20 by 20 acres and more. And I understand anyway that since I do that, I realize you must understand that I use my backyard as my nice and beautiful motivational tool to enjoy my life differently, and to make sure that you guys have everything that you deserve daily, to make sure that no matter what, that when I succeed in terms of life and when I do something to love my life in different ways, I make sure that I'm always successful in the best way, because what I need to do always is focus upon a better way for myself. And how do I do that? I make sure I'm doing something along the way to love my life in different ways, but my dog over here wants to come in to the house. So I'm understanding to try to block it in a way that I never try to hurt the dog. I'm just moving forward over here. I'm just moving in kind regards to making sure that my dog never comes in the house. I realize now, why is that? Because I never need my dog to come in the house right now. And it's never my dog. Oh, I mean, but guess what? I love dogs. And I let my dogs in. I let my dogs in the house sometimes. But you must understand that since I want to be alone in the house now, otherwise I want to eat. Otherwise, if your dogs are like that, and if your dogs are doing something to come in the house or something like that, then make sure that you have all of your nice and beautiful effects over here in a way that everything's working for yourself to succeed. So make sure all the time that you're focusing on something greater for yourself in a way that you're learning very quickly upon what you need to do. But make sure you understand that you never go throwing away your files that is in your track, because what you want to do is open it. I mean, you want to be opening your track. So what you do is always, through every time you save your files, I mean, be sure to make a new zip file. I mean, make a new zip file as well. I mean, why is that? Because if you make a new zip file, or if you're about to, let's say, move your nice and beautiful contents into some other direction, I mean, then be sure to understand to create a new zip file with a package of that kind of file, or that soundtrack in one aspect or file, so that you can go and dwell upon making sure that you're loving your life completely, so you can understand that no matter what, that you get yourself in the house before 6 p.m. please, because I mean, every single day, understand that if you get yourself in the house before 6 p.m. at night time, or in the day, then you're much warmer. I mean, it's much more warmer in your house, of course. And you have a heater, and you have a bed, and you have privacy. I mean, understand? And it's warm as well. And you keep warm all the time. I'm turning on my heater over here. So I'm making sure you understand anyway. I'm working my tracks over here. So since I'm working my tracks, I have more to do over here. And there's only a bit more to go. I'm understanding that I want to complete this nice and beautiful program over here. I'm understanding that no matter what, that nothing is complete, but I'm making sure that you understand that there's always much more to do. I mean, in a sense, so as I do more, I succeed, I reap rewards, I find success in what I do, because I have more counting for me every single day. I'm always much more than yesterday, because I choose to be something much more, and that's it. I choose to make sure that you guys have everything that you deserve, because what you deserve is a greater life. And if you understand how to talk a greater life for yourself, then you deserve it. I mean, understand? I mean, you guys deserve a greater life if you choose to have a greater life. I'm rushing now. If you want to choose how, then understand how to talk how. I mean, in that sense, so every single day, I'm always learning very quickly upon what I need to do daily to succeed. I'm always recording my programs in audio via my Samsung A20 Galaxy, but I do have a Samsung A51 Galaxy, and the Samsung A51 Galaxy has other functions that I use for in terms of with that phone, by making sure that you guys understand straight away how I deliver contents. So I understand that what I do daily, I'm making sure I'm always delivering. I realize now, if you're charging people at the events that you're making and they want to bring some friends, then just say, yeah, I mean, you can bring some friends, man. Because you need more friends. I mean, you need people to come to your events, so be able to charge them also. But what you do is just realize this, that if you say it's a price over there, then understand, yeah, and that's how it is, but you're saying the truth, and the truth shall set you free. I realize now, what I do now is I'm always looking for quickly, in terms of for anything quickly to do, always in terms of words. So words is life, and words make up my life, and words is much more meaningful for me than music production. But making sure anyway that what I want to do is I want to make sure that you guys hear my nice and beautiful music in a way that I'm learning and growing. So there was some kind of reverse system over here that was never working for some reason. But making sure I want to find out what kind of sound that file is, so I understand something about life. So what I need to do is understand that it's a reverse effect. And now I want to be able to go into my nice and beautiful sound over here, and it's right here. And now understand that no matter what, I have to drop these sounds into my nice and beautiful desktop. And now it has to be my desktop for some reason, because that's how it is. Or I can locate the FL Studio to open with that file somehow. So what I need to do is locate the files. But how do I do that? I mean, now I have to find out. There is a way that you can locate to open your FL Studios in terms of your files in a certain location. And now that way I understand that no matter what, I can add more plugins or whatever it is. I'm understanding anyway that I just drop it into my nice and beautiful desktop for now, and I open my file again. So what I want to do now is I understand I want to finish up the final part of my Idonotopia, I love I want to make sure that you guys understand that it's nice and beautiful for me to be able to go and make music now, because there is so much happening. I'm understanding that since I'm actually loving my life much more, and since I'm actually talking better as well, I'm looking to never end my life. I'm looking to do my life better. I'm looking to make sure that you guys understand quickly upon how I actually work on my files and what I actually do. But since I actually work on my files so much and what I do, I'm making sure you understand that people can already suss out how good I am in terms of what I do in terms of my files. But since I'm actually learning very quickly upon what I'm doing daily, I'm focusing on giving people ideas about how good I am. Brosh, that's it. Brosh, now that's all there is, yeah? Brosh, do you focus upon telling people how good you are, or do you focus upon telling people how shit you are? I mean, of course, you tell people how good you are in life. I mean, in a sense, so that's the whole point, yeah? Rush, the whole point is make sure that you're always a smartass in a way that you're never sarcastic about what you say. I mean, never be a hater. I mean, be a lover. I mean, be someone who loves life. But what you can do while your actual content is uploading or while your content is maneuvering through in a way that you are opening your files is go on YouTube in terms of your YouTube studio and then go and really check out, I mean, you can check out your statistics or you can check out recent videos of people that are posting online and what they're doing. And then just be updating yourself about the world around you and what's happening always. And then focus upon understanding that you have to be growing all the time differently. And you have to make sure that no matter what, that you're always learning much more courage in the process of what you're doing. But focus more on your life than other people. I mean, you're saying, but if you want to inspire people, then inspire people by talking to them. And that's it. I promise you, send them a link here and there. And that's it. I promise you must understand that no matter what, if you enjoy your life, then make sure you enjoy your life, making sure you're getting ready for a better life. And that's it. I promise you. Now, I understand that, for example, here in Sydney right now, I understand they are saying that there is COVID happening or something like that. And I understand that they want to just completely, let's say, block people from whatever it is. I understand, but nobody can block you. I mean, nobody can block you from doing anything. But you have to realize every single time to focus upon something that you love to do. So focus on watching people and their content and what they have streaming and whatever's happening in terms of life, and make sure you're always learning very quickly upon life itself to make sure that you're going and dwelling upon life to succeed in different ways is what you need to do. So focus upon understanding that if you want to go and really, really grow yourself into a frenzy of the best kind of ways of life, then focus upon understanding how I seen a pregnant woman was just really, really in, let's say, some devotional violence with somebody, and some guy was just attacking her and attacking her and attacking her, and she's pregnant. I mean, you have to understand either way that what you need to do is focus upon understanding that if this happens to somebody and you're there, I mean, guess what you do? I mean, you have to help out. I mean, you have to help out this woman. But guess what? I promise you, it's more how you have to be in your business. And now, if you help yourself out more than them, that's the whole point, yeah? Because they never come around helping you do that. I mean, if they're in a violent attack today, let's say somebody around you is in a violent attack with somebody. I mean, what do you do? I mean, make sure you understand that what you have to do is get away from that. I mean, never be around violence. I mean, never be around violent people in the first place. I mean, if you see somebody's getting in a violent attack or something, then stay away from it. I mean, that's what Jesus Christ does. I mean, but understand that's the way. I mean, never be in violence. I mean, never go violently to attack people, ever. I mean, in a sense, so what you do is focus upon understanding that what you need to do is grant your wishes in a nice and beautiful way of life to succeed, to understand that no matter what, that you get what you deserve. And what you deserve is Ronnie Coleman. I mean, Ronnie Coleman is a guy who understands a bit more about life as well. And he understands that no matter what, that you can go and see him because he's somebody who is an inspiration about life. And you have to understand to go and really, really understand that he's a nice and beautiful weightlifter over there. But he teaches people about what he's doing. So make sure you understand anyway that you must go and really, really promote yourself and start really, really making music to just understand how to soothe your appetite. So as I make music, I try to teach as much as I can because as soon as my hands go cold, I have to be indoors somewhere. I have to be indoors quickly. And I understand that no matter what, that what's important right now is just going and making music right now. Because as I make music, I shall succeed quickly. And now understand that no matter what, that I have to go and make these vocals happen. And because the vocals are happening, I make sure that you guys understand quickly that I have vocals over here where I want to show people my nice and beautiful way of life. So as I show people how I actually do anything, in terms of how I do anything, I make sure to succeed. I see also what's happening, guys, is make sure that if you understand something about, let's say, somebody attacking your family, for example, then guess what? I mean, you must understand that they're your family, so protect them. I mean, protect your family. I mean, understand? So I always have nunchucks around. So if somebody attacks my wife or kids, I get the nunchucks, I rip your head open. I rip your head open right away. So never try to touch my wife or kids. You understand? I mean, never even try. You understand? So make sure you understand that you must try to do you, but make sure you understand that I allow you to do whatever you want. But if you get physical in terms of violence around me in life, in terms of my family, I'll come at you. I come at you. I come for attack. I come for attack with you. I understand, although, that it's much more how that is aggressive. But what I need to do is I need to attack you to get you away from my family, which is true. And I have to knock you out when I attack you. But if you get back up and you try to come at me, then I'm in self-defense mode now. So I still get the nunchucks out, but making sure you understand that if you try to go through my family in a violent way, you have to go through me first. But somebody else, or I have nothing to do with that. Or else it's never my business. If you're somebody on the street today, literally, and I see you punching over somebody or somebody's very violent with you, I promise you, guess what? I call the coppers. I call the police. I stay away from it. I stay away from helping you because that guy may have a gun or knife to kill me, but I still help you in other ways. I help you in other ways. And now, I never want to be around you if the guy has a gun to your head. I mean, do you understand me? I never want to be around you. I mean, that's never my business. I mean, do you want to be around me if there's somebody who has a fucking pistol or something, or a shotgun pointing at my head? I mean, of course, you never want to even come up to me, of course. You understand? So, no matter what, then nobody does that to me. And I never do that to myself. I never have people pointing pistols and shotguns and guns and knives at me. I understand, although, that recently one fucking idiot did pull out a pocket knife at me because I was giving you an audio program. So, anyway, that guy's very lucky that I never did break his arm. I understand? So, anybody who's trying to exert control over you with knives and with any pistols or, let's say, whatever it is, I mean, guess what? I promise you, get away from them. I mean, get away from all those people. I mean, make sure you're never around those people. I'm never around those people. I'm never, ever around people who are trying to exert control over me. I never want to be around controlling people because they're aggressive and they're angry and they're people who are poor and they have no Jesus Christ to some extent. I mean, in a sense, so make sure you understand either way that I have Jesus Christ to full extent. I understand that. But what I need to understand also is understand that no matter what, that as you create music, just make sure your nice and beautiful portable speaker or your actual contents is uploading in terms of the battery is charging. So I have to place the battery cord over here. I have a cord that goes in the back of my nice and beautiful portable speaker that gives me all the sounds that you hear. I have to make sure that I'm charging my contents over here. So I have to charge my laptop always and make sure always to signify myself and my success in terms of what I have. And then what I do also is I place my nice and beautiful sound right in front of me with a portable speaker. And I place this actual sound right in front of me because I want to hear it from a portable speaker. I want to hear that sound in front of me. I want to be making sure that my actual speaker is right in front of me on the table and my laptop is just here. So I'm making sure that I want to show you guys that I love I, and I want to make sure that you guys understand I'm very successful. So I hear people always talking about me because I have the goods.